Mike, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, there you go. Okay, we've got a couple of people that would like to speak. Mr. Kitson, you had something you'd like to say. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Um, just last Thursday night, we had the zoning board of appeals. There were three issues came up. Two of them were pretty straightforward. One was very controversial. And I would just ask that board members, look at that, view it, look at the minutes. However, but before we vote, be knowledgeable of what's going on with it. It did, end in a tie vote, which means it'll come to us as a no vote and it'll take a supermajority to pass it if we want to pass it. But I would just suggest that everybody look at it very closely and know the details so we know what we're voting on and talking about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kitson. I'm going to make a little change here because of some time restrictions and limitations. We have a resolution that has been brought before us regarding Senate Bill 1192. Ally, would you like to speak to us on that? Give us a brief synopsis on it.
Asking you guys to pass the resolution in opposition to the Senate bill that expands the list of restricted and dangerous animals in the state of Illinois and burdens further the county sheriff's department and animal control and kind of overreaches the jurisdiction and imposes laws onto the county itself. Has kind of a web of cascading impacts across different industries.
Did everybody receive a copy of it? Okay, very good. Charlie, can we go into discussion on this before we get a motion? As far as any questions regarding it?
My preference would be that you get the motion and the second on the floor and then open a discussion.
Okay. Okay, the motion, I'd like the motion be in the form of upon approval by the state's attorney. So if you make your motion and I make a motion that based on the approval of the state's attorney. Okay, so moved by Mr. Hudson, seconded by Ms. White. Any discussion? Any questions?
So, Mike, your motion is to move the resolution regarding opposition to Senate Bill 1192 to the Executive Committee for inclusion on the February County Board agenda?
And was that his motion or was that somebody else's motion?
Well, I want to make sure that's what the motion was, is to send it to executive.
Right, I think that was the motion, yeah.
Okay.
You got in there upon state's attorney's approval?
And I'll just look at it from the legal standpoint. I mean, certainly it's the policy of the county board, whatever they want to do in terms. Yeah.
We got the mud out of that? Okay. Any discussion, any questions from anybody? Okay, no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried, motion carried. Thanks, Ellie. Okay. Is there anybody else that has any comments? Okay, I have one young lady I'd like to call to the podium that would like to speak to us. Melanie Wilstead, please. Turn the button, push the button on the front there, Melanie, and should be green. There you go.
Thank you very much. My name is Melanie Wilstead, and I was at the fire board meeting in Amboy, Illinois yesterday, and I was informed by the fire chief, Dwayne, that the Harmon whistle for the tornadoes is on a manual button, and that the fire department in Amboy is willing to be able to turn that on manually from or remotely from the Amboy Fire Department in Amboy but it's going to cost about $1,000 approximately, give or take. He didn't have an exact amount. He will be at the village meeting tomorrow night at 7 PM if anybody would like to come to that as well. So I'm here to present that here to Lee County. I didn't know if there was any other way, like how to pay for that, what our options were, if it goes to the village, if it's part of the township, if it's a Lee County thing. I'm kind of at an impasse, so I'm just here to bring that up. I'm one of the trustees. I'll be incoming as the city clerk for the Village of Harmon. I'm kind of excited. I can't get here soon enough. And we're hoping to bring a lot of positive progress soon. And so that's it.
Anybody have any questions for Melanie?
Just to confirm, so right
Yes.
now, the switch to turn on the tornado alarm is manual, but in order to get it automated or do it remotely, it will cost a fee of $1,000.
Approximately. The chief didn't have an exact amount of money, so we weren't sure if we had to split that with the township, if that was even a village cost. He was literally bringing it to the village because he didn't know who to bring it to. So he's coming to the meeting tomorrow to bring that to the village. And so we also have it on the township's plate as well, and they have to bring it to their meeting next month.
And do
So-
you know, you may not know any details, which is completely fine. Is it like an annual fee? Is it a one-time fee?
I believe it's just a one-time fee. They have
Okay.
to come in and put in
Okay.
the box, and then they just are able to do it from the fire department in Amboy. We're considered Amboy 2 now. We are no longer a Harmon Fire Department. So we are now Amboy 2. We are part of Amboy Fire Department now
Okay.
as of January 1st, because we had a merger that we lost the Harmon Fire Department. So now that we are now merged with Amboy Fire Department. So that is also why that is the way that is as well.
Okay, thank you.
I spoke with Melanie briefly before the meeting, and I think I would have to agree with her. I think it's just the installation fee is what it's gonna be, and then it'll be, if there would be any maintenance, I would hope that it would fall under the new redistricting of the whole thing, so. Does anybody have any questions for Melanie? Thanks, Ally.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Melanie. Okay. Has everybody had a chance to read last month's meeting minutes? If so, are there any additions or corrections to be made? If not, we'll stand approved as submitted. Okay. Animal control. Terry, would you like to share your information with us, please?
Morning. The normal graphs should be in your packet. I did, find it's on. Sorry. Huh, can you hear me now?
There you go.
The graphs are in your packet in case you have any questions. There is an additional graph that we, did for the whole year of 2024. So that was kind of interesting. And then, I did find a van, and that should be here this week. I don't know if you have any questions on that at all. And then.
I have a question of curiosity. How many miles, what's the mileage on that vehicle? Do you remember?
On the one that we
The
just
van
are
that you-
getting,
Yeah,
19.
I'm sorry.
19,000.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And then there's also a resolution for the tag fees. That they will start a new registration cost June 1st of 2025. If there's any questions on that.
Do we have to move that resolution on, Becky?
Yes.
Okay.
Carrie, that's in accordance, compliant, basically, along with what the state is doing. Is that correct?
With what other
The, you know,
counties?
the new fees and that?
That's with what other counties.
Okay,
So we're just kind of trying to keep in the same realm as
Okay.
what the other counties are doing. Some are much higher.
sure.
But that's pretty much, I just mostly did $2 up, except I think on the 3-year. So,
Thank you.
mhm.
Okay. All right, so we're setting okay then. County Services have already approved that, Becky. You got that? Okay, any questions from anybody? Okay, anything else?
We
Terry?
approved it in the last meeting to go to the board,
Oh,
the resolution, just so, because you're cut, so you
yeah,
didn't miss
I
anything.
had no idea. Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anything else, Terry? Okay, thank you. Amy, it's your
Good
turn.
Morning.
Morning.
So I just wanted to bring you up to speed. Circuit Clerk's Office signed the contract with Tyler Technologies for our new case management system for all departments in new courts. The estimated project start date is April 1st, could be May 1st. It's not certain yet. The project timeframe from start to completion is estimated to take between 14 and 18 months. So we look forward to getting started here soon and getting on board with that. Any questions?
Okay, no questions? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Lally is attending a meeting with the pipeline for some safety information and procedures and will not be available to attend the meeting, but his report is on file and is available in the packet. I have nobody here from Health Department. Stacy, you're up.
Recently, we had a graduation for our Veterans Treatment Court, which went extremely well. I always encourage the county board members, if you're able to stop in and visit our specialty courts, drug court and Veterans Treatment Court. The graduation for Veterans Treatment Court is something special that I think a lot of people should see. It's a lot of work that goes together, and there are a lot of partners that work with us in putting that graduation together. So if you can in the future, please feel free to stop by for that. Amy mentioned a move to a new vendor for the data management system for the county. I was recently at a conference for probation and court services in which I was able to meet with our vendor and also sit in a couple of sessions that they presented. The amount of AI that is being used by this vendor is nothing short of amazing. I am very excited about the move that we are going to be making. The technology and how far ahead it is astounding. It's definitely something that we are going to be able to utilize. There's definitely a learning curve on AI. I was a little reluctant to go because I was very nervous about it, thinking this is going to be well beyond me, but I'm very excited to make this move and get started with this. I think there's going to be a lot of great things that we can do with this new system. Anybody have any questions?
I'd like to commend Ms. Stewart and probation. I've seen the drug courts in the past and vet court. And I have to say, if you haven't been to one, you've got to go to one, because I'll tell you what, you see a lot of work together, especially with the veterans and their families. And just the support that they get, you can see the expression on these people's face that they know somebody cares. There's no doubt about it. But I highly suggest and recommend it. If you can, just go to one. It's not a long ceremony or meeting, but it'll open your eyes to see what these people have gone through, the struggles and the accomplishments they have made. And when you hear some of their stories, you'll understand what they've gone through. And I just want to commend Ms. Stewart and her staff, because I know it's just more than just them showing up on vet court day, because there's a lot of work done prior to and of course after.
Thank you.
Okay, no questions for Stacy. All right. I agree. I couldn't have been said better. Okay, the sheriff also is not available, but his report is on file, and it looks like first time for quite a while that we're up to staff with the exceptions of 2 people that are still off either for military or medical situation. Any questions on that? Okay, his report is also available via the PAC. Mr. Boonstra, State's Attorney's Office.
Thank you, sir. I do not have an update for you for the quarterly update. I did provide one last month for the month of January. I'll try to get another one for you in March. I'd like to bring to attention this committee the accomplishments that we've had last week. I'd like to commend Assistant State's Attorney Will Fox and Assistant State's Attorney Stephanie Sasser, who were responsible for the prosecution of people of the state of Illinois versus Jason Johnson. It was a very tough case with multiple victims involved, and they secured a sentence to the Illinois Department of Corrections of 67 years. So it was a really good accomplishment, I think, for the office and for some closure for the victims in that matter. So just want to bring attention to that and let the committee know about that progress. We're still in the holding pattern, as Amy said, with the technology stuff to make sure that we move forward with Tyler, but to find out if we're going to get the AOIC grant. Cautiously optimistic, perhaps, at this point. And then from there, just staying busy with trials. We had last month several that went, a couple on the same days, and continue to go on and moving cases along.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Boonstra? Congratulations. Okay, anything on the fines? I'm not too worried about it. I know you guys have been busy. Anything updated on the collection of fines?
Not right now, no.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Jeremy, anything under?
Yeah, so a little update on abandoned properties, nuisance properties. Right now, we're working with, again, still the city of Dixon and the city of Amboy on a handful of properties that we're going to process through the Strong Communities Grant. That is for residential homes that are going to be demolished, the sites cleaned up and turned into greenfields or reused for other purposes. We have about less than a year left to execute on those grant funds. So we're really trying to work expeditiously on that. Last month we did assume judicial deed of the Lee Center School. We are working with a developer to build potentially a multi-unit residential facility in that structure. So still progressing on what that looks like right now, and he will be coming to county board and committees in the future to talk through what that plan and development looks like as we work through those stages. We are working with the owner of another large nuisance property in the outskirts of a handful of communities that trying to figure out if we're going to be able to get them to work with us on cleaning up that property, or if we're going to have to go through a similar legal process to try to get that cleaned up. So doing some great things. The committee's been meeting a handful of different times, and we have a few properties right out on the outskirts of Dixon residential side that the county is going to process through our Strong Communities Grant as well. So.
Any timeline on the Lee Center issue?
So Lee Center, so I met with the developer last week. We are looking at bringing in some contractors that he is working with towards the end of this week, actually, and building out that timeline. So we'll know more here in the coming weeks.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. I don't have anything under unfinished business, and I jumped ahead on the new business, so that's taken care of, and I have nothing for an executive session unless, Charlie, you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved by Katie, seconded by Keen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.